Hello and welcome to the Noshing with Nina show. I'm your host, Nina Kennedy, and we have with us actor and acting coach Marishka Phillips. Marishka is a native New Yorker, Brooklyn born. She started performing at the age of 8. At age 13, she appeared in a European tour of Raisin and further developed her talents at Alvin Ailey School of Dance, Broadway Dance Center, and Fordham University. By the age of 19, she landed a feature role and understudied to the star on Broadway in the musical Uptown It's Hot, directed by Maurice Hines. She went on to perform in such musicals as Bubblin' Brown Sugar, Fame, the Musical, The Wiz, and The Me Nobody Knows. While living in Los Angeles, she did character work and was the stand-in actress on the last 2 seasons of A Different World, the spin-off of The Cosby Show, in which she also appeared. Marishka spent 10 years traveling back and forth to Europe, 8 countries in all, performing in various musicals. She studied with her mentor, Ms. Susan Batson, from 2002 to 2011. Since she has been cast as Othello in an all-female cast, she earned an Adelco nomination for her portrayal of young Ethel Waters in Woody King's production of Sweet Mama String Bean. She has toured and performed with recording artists Sean P. Diddy Combs, Latin recording star Christian Castro, and CeCe Winans. Most recently, Marishka was assistant acting coach, along with Susan Batson, for Deborah Cox as Josephine Baker. She has also worked with Tasha Smith, Kerry Washington, Nicole Bahari Brown, Raphael Sadiq, and Terry Vaughn, to name a few. Marishka made her film directorial debut with Love Always, Eartha. Now she also serves as casting director. Welcome, Marishka. We're so happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
I know, you're so busy. We had to snatch you away from your various projects you got going on.
I'm trying to stay productive, you know.
Making that paper, girl.
It's a good time for Black female directors. You know, they're giving us voice, they're giving us platforms, so I want to utilize these, you know, this special time as an artist.
There you go, female forward.
Yes, female forward.
On your busy schedule, it was hard to get you down here today. You're shooting your project this weekend. Tell us about it.
I'm trying to stay productive. I am, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm directing my first sci-fi short.
Fantastic.
Entitled Bait. Starring an actress named Michelle Hartley. She's the producer as well, so she was one of my students for a long time, so she called and said, read the script, if you like it, it's yours. You know, so I thought it was a great opportunity. I've never directed a sci-fi film anyway. I did a play, but I thought it was a nice opportunity to kind of stretch my imagination because I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock, and so I said, yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, we're shooting this weekend.
Great, great. Stay tuned to noshwithnina.tv. We'll have more details about that as it develops.
Thank you.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Way back.
Way back.
Decades.
So how did this acting business get started?
I was thrust into it. My mother, she's a performer as well. I was a backstage baby, as they say. So my mother, her name is Marishka Phillips, and you may know her from Lean on Me. She played the music teacher, Mrs. Powers, in Lean on Me. And so just from a young age, I saw the full process from her auditioning to opening night, you know, sitting along the wall in the rehearsal rooms, watching things be choreographed, staged, you know, all of that stuff, and I just thought it was fascinating. And when I had the opportunity, and because I knew all the choreography, they saw me just doing it, and they were like, can we put your daughter in the show? At that time, I was 13, and my mother was like, yeah, help me pay for her tutor.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, that's how I started, just being in the environment.
Yeah.
My mother said I was in a womb full of influence.
Right, in every aspect you saw.
Everything.
From the reviews and the promotion and the publicity.
Everything, and I love it.
Fantastic.
Backstage, being backstage is one of my favorite places. It's just an energy, you know, that people are coming to gather to create, and it's a very moment to moment, and the energy backstage is so palpable and exciting, and you could feel it, and then you start hearing the audience filing in, and it's just like, oh, here we go, you know, all eyes would be like just on you.
Right,
you know, so it's interesting.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So now I saw in your biography you've done a lot of dancing. That was your original
That was my
focus.
first craft, yes. I decided to dance, and I said I'm going to keep dancing until I get to Broadway. And I was blessed to get to Broadway as a dancer. I used to take 4 classes a day. That was my outlet. You know, being a backstage baby, I didn't have a lot of children my age to interact with. And I felt when I was matriculated back into the public school system, I didn't really relate, you know. Although I started making friends, but I started getting bullied too, so I just like run. As soon as school was out, I'd jump on the train and come to dance school, dance class.
What do you think the bullying was about? Was it just because you were a newcomer? Or?
I think I was antisocial.
Oh.
Because I didn't know, you know, I was just like, and they were like, get her, get her. I was like, no.
I'm a survivor too. So
See, you know what it is.
I know what that's about. Yeah. So tell me about the transition from dancing to acting.
Okay, well, from dancing, I started studying singing. And I thought, you know, that was just like a natural progression for me, because my mother's a singer as well. And when I found out I could sing, I was like, well, let me develop my voice a little bit more. And I knew that I would eventually want to record. And I was able to do that when I was living and working in Germany. I worked with 2 different labels over there. And so that was that transition into that. And I started singing with different recording artists, you know, Sean Combs, and I did some background for CeCe Winans. And then I went to Mexico. I lived over there and to work with Christian Castro. He's a Mexican pop star there.
Oh.
And I was over in Europe doing musicals, and I decided, I think I want to go home. And then I had to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was introduced to Susan Batson, and I said, well, then I'm going to focus on acting now.
Okay.
So it was an interesting thing because, you know, as a dancer, I was Lacey's sister. My brother, he's like this huge Fosse dancer and choreographer. He's done like all of Fosse's shows. So I was Lacey's sister as a dancer. I was Sandra's daughter as a singer, and then I was like, well, when do I get to be Marishka? You know, so I was like, let me throw myself into acting, and like that's what I found. My new love is acting.
Fantastic. Now, we saw in the bio that you were a part of the Different World family.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, when I knew I wanted to move to LA, I'd heard so many strange stories about people just going and trying to figure it out, but I thought I'd figure it out before I left. So I started watching all of the shows that taped in Los Angeles, and I was just looking for one familiar name. And I saw a name, David Blackwell, and he was a New York stage manager. And he used to help his father, and his father stage managed the show my mother did. So when I saw that name, I just started connecting the dots, and I found him, and I said, I want to move to LA. You think I could work on the show? He said, call me when you get here. I was like, yes.
All right.
You know, all you have to do is research a little bit and, you know, and pay attention, I think. And I think, you know, you can find the blessing in in the detail, you know.
So then with the Different Worlds, you had to audition? Or?
No, he just put me on set. He was like, come in, we're starting a new week. And I started out as an extra, just soaking in the environment. I had never done TV before. I was all theater, you know. So I just started soaking in the environment, and David started giving me little feature parts. And then Debbie recognized me. Then she made me the stand-in actor for most of the female leads, like Jaleesa and Charnel Brown's role and Jada's role. And so it just kind of progressed from there. And the best thing about that experience, not only that every week we got to meet a different you know, icon in the business as came in as guest stars. But I started watching Debbie Allen and just watching her command the set, and I said, I'm going to want to do that one day. So she inspired me to go to school for directing while I was working on that show.
I see. So you were in directing school in LA.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, I didn't know when I was going to use it, but I knew that watching her, I was like, I want to do that.
Right.
That turned me on. Like, she was like running it. And I was like, that is something, you know?
With all the healthy antioxidants in red wine, it's okay. It's basically salad.
Well, pour me some more salad. It's perfect. Thanks, Dad.
Oh, Lord, today. Did you see his package? Girl, it was just there.
I'm taking my daughter out of here.
Now you want to talk?
Okay, go ahead. What do you want to talk about? I need you to be happy for me right now.
You're an awesome mother, cuz. I'm super proud of you.
How dare you throw my baby in my face? Blasphemy!
Are you comfortable?
While it was smiling in my face, have lopped my nipples from his boneless skulls and dashed his brains out.
Horrible things will happen. Do that, do something.
I'm her mother!
You're crazy.
So when did you first get your opportunity to actually direct?
Okay. Can I back it up a little bit?
Please do.
As I was studying with Miss Batson, again, the way she was changing so many lives and affecting so many actors in the most positive way, I said, I'm going to want to do that one day. You know, that's how I get inspired by just seeing women of color in their power doing different things. And I was like, and if it lights a fire in me, I say, I want to know how to do that. I want to do that. And so my second year in studying with her, I had the opportunity to share a cab with her. She was dropping me off at Penn Station. And I was like, Miss Batson, I think I'd love to try teaching. And it was quiet for a long time. I was like, oh, man. And then she said, you know, you may actually be a good teacher, but not yet. She said, just keep showing up. 2 years later, a teacher called out. I was there, and she's like, here it is. She said, I'll be in the back of the room. I was like, okay. And after class, you know, she said, you got it. She said, you're going to be great. And so that lasted for 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how the idea for the acting school came about.
In 2011 was a really intense year for me. I lost my father. Then 2 weeks later, I lost my closest cousin. And I started reevaluating things. And I decided to branch out on my own. And with Miss Batson's blessing. You know, she was really supportive, and she's like, you know, they love you, so, you know, you should do well and know that you always have a home here with me.
Sweet.
Yeah, she did say that. And I said, okay, I'm going to try. And like I said, that was in 2011. And it's been growing ever since. My first class, I had like 21 actors. I was like, what? My first class was 11, 11, 11. 11 is my favorite number. And it happened to falling on a Friday evening. So I said, I'm going to do my first class at 11, 11, 11. And it was a great turnout. And it's been growing ever since by word of mouth and my approach. And I had to, you know, sit with myself and just reconcile the fact, like, everyone's not going to love you. Everyone's not going to love your brand or your approach to acting, and you're going to have to be okay with that, you know? And, you know, when you step out on faith, you know, you can hear a lot of things coming back at you that are not so nice, but I said, I'm going to stay the course because I love what I do, and that's what's going to rise above anything anyone else is going to say. Right. It's my love for it and my love for my actors.
Right, right.
You know?
Now, I'm going to read a quote.